So first of all, welcome to the live QAtraining.com. So today we're gonna start the demo on Selenium, right? So this is the actual logo of your Selenium automation framework, right? SC, and what is SC? SC is a chemical element which has an atomic number of 34. Atomic number of 34, right? But what is Selenium? Selenium is an automation testing framework which is only useful for testing web applications. That's it. You cannot go and test any desktop application using Selenium. If you want to go and automate the desktop applications, then Selenium doesn't allow you to do it. So we have to go and use another tool which supports desktop application. But what is Selenium now? Selenium is a framework which supports only web application automation testing. That's it. Right. So, but what is Selenium actually? So, if you look at my screen, right, Praveen, now, so we have a the icon for the QTP actually. For the what? QTP is a another automation testing tool which is purely commercial. Which is purely commercial. So if you want to work with QTP, first you have to buy the license from the HP, then start working on it. But did you see any icon like Selenium over on my screen? No, right? Yes, you won't see actually, because Selenium is not a tool. Selenium is an API. What is it? Selenium is an API stands for Application Programming Interface, which has compiled classes. Which has compiled classes. What we'll do, we will use those classes, we'll use the methods present in the classes and start writing a program. So it's like an API, Application Programming Interface. What is Selenium now? Selenium is an API. API. It's not a tool actually. Alright? Yep. And now, if you look at my screen now, so I have kept a few browsers or yeah. Yes. Exactly. So we need to download a jar files from the Selenium base site, and we have to put it in our Eclipse and start using the classes and methods to automate the application. So I'll be showing you the demo at the end of my session today, how to download the jar files, how to keep it in your Eclipse, and how to start writing a program. Was it? Now, so Selenium and the features. So Selenium supports multiple browsers. No matter which browser you want to test on. If you want to test on Chrome, yes, Selenium does support that. If you want to test on the Safari, yes, Selenium does support it. Any browser actually, Mozilla, IE, Opera, any browsers. And also Selenium supports multiple operating system because Selenium is built on top of Java. What is Java? Java is a platform independent language. What is Java? Java is a platform independent language. So you can write a program in one operating system and take that program and execute in another operating system. Right? So it supports on Android, it supports Windows, it supports iOS, it supports Solaris, it supports even the Linux as well. That means Selenium supports multiple operating systems. Right? And even it supports multiple languages as well, Praveen. Now just take an example. You are expert in PHP, man. You can start using PHP plus Selenium. You need not to know Java to start automating the web application using Selenium. Right? If you know Ruby, yes, you can go and automate the application using Selenium and Ruby. If you know Perl, yes, you can do it with Perl actually. But if you take an example of the another automation tool called as QTP, QTP supports only one language called as VB scripting. Even if you are in PHP expert, even if you are C# expert, if you want to automate in QTP, if you want to automate using QTP, yes, we would need to learn VBScript first. But Selenium supports multiple languages as well. Right? Yeah. And now, so even we are going to integrate lot of other APIs with our Selenium. What are you going to do? We are going to integrate other APIs with our Selenium. Just take an example. Now, if you want to connect to database get the data, compare the data, and execute your automation scripts. What you have to do? So we need to have a database connectivity API, right? And after your execution is done, automatically I want to send an email to my test manager saying that these many test cases have passed, these many test cases have failed. Selenium, doesn't support it. So we have to integrate our Selenium with another API called as Mail API, right? And and whenever you're doing an automation, we need to read the data from Excel files. We need data from Excel files, right? And if you want to read the data from Excel file and read the data into Excel files, yes, we are going to use what? POI API. So like this, we are going to use different APIs to create a complete automation script. POI, we have got another other abbreviation for it. It's like the mm, page object indication something actually. So we usually say POI. That's it, right? Yep. Now, and we are going to even look at an example using one of the continuous integration tool which I displayed over here, right? So now if you look at in my screen, we have a Jenkins, we have Apache Ant, we have GitHub, we have Maven, we have the Tortoise SVN. So what we'll do, so I want to go and execute my script using Jenkins. Now just take an example, Praveen. Now daily your developer will develop some functionality and he'll give you a build, right? He'll give you a build. So but if he give you a build at the midnight 2 o'clock, will you go to office and execute, man? No, right? So what we'll do, we will configure our automation scripts to execute at 2 o'clock using Jenkins. So that you need not to go and execute manually. We'll configure the scripts in Jenkins and we'll schedule it, and at a specified point of time your script will kickstart and it will give you a result at the end of the day. So we can achieve that particular functionality using Jenkins. Make sense? Yep. And then, so we are going to look at different frameworks. This is our last topic of our Selenium training. I'm going to tell you how to do data driven testing. I'm going to tell you how to do keyword driven testing, keyword driven framework as well, and I'm going to do even the hybrid, and I'm going to do even the page object modeling. Right? Yep. And then why Selenium? Selenium is completely browser automation API. As you already learned, it's a completely open source one. You need not to, you need not to pay anything if you want to, automate any web application using Selenium. Just download it and start working on it. That's it. And license is not required for other tools like QTP and Test Complete and Coded UI. You have to buy a license and then start using those tools, right? And now Selenium is completely backed by Google developers. So Google developers are they are supporting our Selenium now. They're supporting our Selenium now, exactly. And as I told you earlier, Selenium supports multiple operating systems and Selenium supports multiple browsers and multiple languages as well, right? So this is basically about our Selenium, and this is basically about why we go for Selenium, and why today why companies are looking for a people who know Selenium, because you need not to buy a tool, right? So we can directly download from the Google internet, and we can start using the tool. Yep. And now Selenium has four components: Selenium IDE, Selenium Remote Control, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. How many components we have, Praveen? Four components: Selenium IDE, Selenium Remote Control, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Right. Let us understand all these things. All these things on a high level. I will not I'm not digging in. I'm not explaining each and everything, which is not possible in 1 hour, man. So let's understand about all these things later once we start our regular sessions, right? Now, actually, Selenium RC, there was this is a complete Selenium suite. Selenium IDE, RC, WebDriver, and Grid. Now they merged Selenium RC with WebDriver and they came up with the Selenium 2. But now it is Selenium 3.0. I have to update this particular image. Now it is what? Selenium 3.0. I'll tell you, why they have updated it Selenium 3.0 later. Now, first let us understand IDE. Selenium IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. What is it? Integrated Development Environment. So this is a particular tool which is used for recording and playback. Which is used for recording and playback. So this particular IDE tool it's only for practice purpose. It's only for practice. If you want to know the locators, if you want to know how exactly Selenium works, if you want to know how you need to execute the Selenium scripts, if you want to know how to put a delay, all those things we can practice using Selenium IDE. And in the regular sessions, I'm going to completely spend on 1 hour on it to explain you how exactly IDE works, right? And it is also completely freeware, and it's a tool actually now. It's a tool. So basically what we'll do, so if take an example, you have an application, Praveen. Now you are doing some activities regularly, same activities regularly. So ultimately you'll get bored, right, by doing same activities regularly. So what we'll do, we will record those operations using IDE, and daily we'll click on one run, it'll execute all the automation scripts on your application, which is very easy, right? You need not to go and do it manually again. Yes, so that can be achieved by using Selenium IDE tool. And Selenium IDE is also an open source web application testing tool. And now another feature which is very good in Selenium IDE is, so once you record a script, you can export that script into multiple languages. What you can do? We can export the script into multiple languages. Like we have an HTML, Java, Ruby, Python, C hash, JUnit, and TestNG. So any of this script you can export it. I'll be showing you now how to export it, and we have an export option or not in the Selenium IDE. And so once you export this particular script from Selenium IDE, we can directly use in where and where? RC and WebDriver, exactly. And script which you create is called test case, and set of test case is called test suite. Right? So let me show you how exactly Selenium IDE looks. But as I told you, Praveen, it's add-on to which browser? Only Firefox. You cannot install this IDE tool on any other browser. It only works in Firefox. That's it, okay? Now let me go and open Firefox. I'll show you how exactly your Selenium IDE looks like. So any questions so far, Praveen, till here? Now if you look at here, what you're seeing? Selenium IDE, right? But I'll tell you how to install this one later. As of now, just... What's that? Okay. Just get the Firefox, and later I'll tell you how to install that. Now this is an IDE tool. So as I told you, right, so we have an option to export our recorded script into any other language, C#, Java, Ruby, Python, right? All those things. And so this is where actually you will record a script, right? And once you record, exactly, it's a test case actually. It's a test case. Once you record, it's kind of test case. Sure, definitely. We'll spend half an hour on how to write test cases. What is test case later? Okay. I'll show you my test application, and from that application we'll take one scenario, and then we will write test cases for that. Make sense? Yeah. Now this is completely tool. I just want to show you, that's it. But I'm not going to do anything as of now. We'll do everything later, right? So this is what an IDE. What is IDE? IDE is completely record and playback tool. But it is not gonna do some logics, man. If you wanna do some logics, we are going to use a programming language, Java with Selenium to write big logics. Right? Remember that. Now, so your Selenium core is completely depends on what? Java. It supports all these languages, supports all these browsers, supports all these operating systems as well. Right? Yep. And now, let us understand how RC works. RC stands for remote control. Okay? Actually, Selenium automates the browser, right? Selenium, what it does, Selenium automates the browser. We will see one example again later. But at the end of the today's session, I'll tell you how exactly Selenium is opening a Firefox browser and how it is performing some operations on the application. How it is entering the values into the web element. All those things we will see maybe after a few minutes. Right? So actually, Selenium RC, Selenium automates a browser actually. It automates any element which is visible on the application. What is element meaning? Element meaning username is an element, sign in button is an element, password is an element. Those are all web elements, right? Yes. So first of all, in order to locate the element on the web page, what Selenium RC injects? It injects JavaScript onto the browser to kill the browser first. What it does? First, Selenium RC will kill the browser, and after killing the browser, it will execute all the commands on the browser. That means Selenium RC is not directly interacting with the browser, Praveen. Okay, it is injecting JavaScript to kill the browser and then start executing the commands. But if you want to support the JavaScript actually, so we have to start Selenium remote control server on our machine. Okay, I'll tell you how to start your remote control server on your machine. So once we get into the regular classes. So but nobody using RC as of now because it has been deprecated. It has been deprecated because of these reasons. Because of these reasons. So what? So why we're going for Selenium automation, Praveen? Because I want to make things fast, right? So what's the point of making it slow again? If it is slow, we can go and do it manually itself, right? Yes. If you look at the first point, so JavaScript makes test automation execution slower, right? And Selenium RC is not supported by many browsers. Yes, it's not supported by many browsers, man. And one of the major browser is what? Internet Explorer, which is a very secure browser in the world, which blocks the injection of JavaScript into the browser. Which blocks the injection of JavaScript into the browser, exactly. So due to these reasons, Selenium remote control has been deprecated and WebDriver has to cover the market by replacing the RC. You understood, Praveen? How it is injecting? Exactly. Yeah. Right, okay? Yep. These are the drawbacks, and that's the reason nobody is using RC now. Maybe 1% of companies might be using RC to write the automation scripts, but no. Right? So let us understand our core part. So let us, before we get into the WebDriver, let's understand the history of Selenium for a while. So Selenium IDE and RC was created by a person called as Jason Huggins at which company? ThoughtWorks. Company name called as ThoughtWorks in 2004. So they were facing some challenges in the RC, and to overcome those challenges, another person called as Simon Stewart, who is an employer in the Google, has developed a WebDriver. Who is a person? Person called as Simon Stewart. That guy overcome the challenges of RC, and he created another API called as WebDriver in the year 2006. If you want to get more information about WebDriver, and if you want to get more information about the history, very simple. So this is our base site always. This is our base site always. We have to go to this site, seleniumhq.org. seleniumhq.org. So this is our base site, and whatever we want to download, whatever we want to look at, actually, we'll go here, man. If you look at, as I told you, Selenium, what is the version? If you want to see the change logs, you can go and click on change logs. And what is the 3.4.0 version? What are the changes they did? Okay, you can go and look at all these things and start using the versions. If you want to know the history, very simple. Go to documentation here and click on Selenium. So, as I told you, in 2006, a plugin engineer at Google named Simon Stewart started working on a project he called as WebDriver. Okay. So just go and when you have some time, Praveen, just go and learn everything. Go and look at go and read this page once. That's enough. Okay. Now, as I told you, so this guy overcome the challenges what we face in RC. So what are the challenges we face in RC? We have to start Selenium server. It is not supporting many browser. It is not supporting even IE as well. So these particular challenges he overcome in the RC, the WebDriver, I mean to say. So WebDriver overcome the challenges faced in RC. Now JavaScript is completely removed. Now there is no JavaScript injection, Praveen. Now what is happening? My WebDriver is directly interacting with the particular native browser code. Okay, directly it is interacting. There is no mediator as of now. But in RC we used to have a mediator. Okay, and it supports even iPhone and Android applications as well. It supports even Android and applications as well. Exactly. And you need not to start any Selenium server, right? And we can extract all the objects as a bulk from your web page. So take an example. If your web page contains some 10 objects, man, so we can extract all the objects at a time using Selenium WebDriver, right? And also event listener. So we have some events, right? Click is an event actually. Okay, so before you perform that click event, if you want to execute any other code, yes, we can execute by using event listener automatically. Okay, you can even listen that automatically using event listener. I'll be telling you an example in the WebDriver session. Now, so how exactly Selenium WebDriver works? So WebDriver interacts with the native browser code, right? Right, man? And for every browser, there is a separate class implemented. I'll show you one simple example, man. So if you look at, I'll go back to my downloads here, and we have a Java docs here. If you look at, just click on Java. This is very, very, very important. So what are all the classes, what are all the interfaces we are going to use, we will go and look at here actually, right? And as I told you, WebDriver is an interface API, right? Let me go and show you that. If you look at me, what is this? It's an italic, right? But it's an italic font. But what is it? It is a normal font. This is a class. This is an interface. But what is class? What is interface? We'll have a separate session on Java. Okay, so we are going to look at few Java concepts which are very important for any Selenium automation engineer to understand. We'll look at all those things. If you click on this WebDriver, so what are all the browsers it supports, man? See here. Chrome driver, Firefox driver, Opera driver, Safari driver, Internet Explorer driver, Edge driver. So it supports all these particular browsers. So what is Chrome driver? It's a class. That's why what I told you. So for every browser, there is a separate class implemented. Okay. Now tomorrow, if you want to work with Chrome, yes, there is a separate class called as Chrome driver, right? Right or not? We have a Chrome driver, and I'm going to use that Chrome driver and start working with a Selenium Chrome driver. And if you want IE, yes, we have IE driver. If you want to work Firefox, yes, we have Firefox driver, right? And this WebDriver comes with a huge set of APIs, man. We're going to take an advantage of all these APIs, and we're going to create a robust automation framework, right? and this is actually a real life interaction. So for RC we have a mediator, right? You, that means you and the browser, and the RC is a mediator. But here in the WebDriver, you and browser directly, no mediator, nothing, man. You are directly interacting with the browser. Got it? Yes, man. So this is how Selenium WebDriver works. That's why now you understand why people stopped using RC, and why people migrated from RC to WebDriver. Yep. So, but you'll understand much more things once we do some practical examples, man. Yep. Let us understand another. Exact. Not complete Java, only core Java. In the core Java also we need few concepts. That's it, not all. Okay, we will understand few concepts, and we will see how we can take an advantage of Java to work with the Selenium WebDriver. So any questions so far, Praveen, on WebDriver, RC, IDE, anything? Right. So I know you have a lot of questions, but all your questions I can answer once we start our regular sessions on the practical side. Yep. Now, so we have another component in Selenium that is called as Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid actually. Now just take an example, Praveen. I have some 100 scripts actually. My client said that, okay, hey guys, I want to execute these all automation scripts in Chrome, Firefox, and IE browser. So it's not possible to execute everything in one single system, right? Is it possible at a time? Not possible. So what we'll do, we will take an advantage of Selenium Grid, where it has a concept of hub and nodes actually. So in hub, I'll keep all my scripts actually. I'll create different nodes with different operating systems and different browsers, and I'll execute the automation scripts parallelly on all these browsers, man. Right? Now what I at a time executing all the scripts in different browsers. That means we are reducing the time of execution to test the functionality in all the browsers. Am I right? So that is called as a parallel execution. I can execute my script parallelly in any operating systems and any browser. Right? This is called as see here we have a Windows Mac, we have a Linux, we have a Mac. Now all the scripts are available in particular hub. So through hub I'm executing these are all nodes. One, two, three nodes we have. I'll execute in all these nodes parallelly using this particular hub. So this nodes doesn't contain any script. These nodes are only meant for execution. All the scripts and all the data that is available in your grid. I mean to say hub. Any questions, or you're confused? Okay, right. Yep. So we will anyhow we will do some practical as well on this side. I'm gonna show you how to create a node, how to create a hub, and we will execute on a particular node using a hub. Okay. Yep. And now let us go and do some simple example. Right. I just want to open my Gmail, and I just want to enter some email address like that in my gmail.com. Let's see how to do that. Huh? Exactly. I'll tell you how to install the Eclipse as well. So I have a good documentation. I'm trying to keep it in my site actually. Soon you will be seeing all the documents in the site. Right. So what I'll do. So first, if you want to go and start writing a script, right? So first we have to create a classes actually. So I'll just show you. So this is my live QA training, right? So I've just created one document yesterday to how to install the this one Selenium WebDriver using Eclipse. Just go through this one if you have some time, how to install everything and how to write a program. I'll tell you. I'm going to explain you how to do that. But if you have some time, just go through this one. All right. Now I'm going to create first project. Okay. And then I will project is created. Then I will go and create particular package. Okay. Demo package. And in the package, inside the package, I'm creating a class. So test is my class. So this is how we have to create a project. This is how we have to create a package and the class. And after creating all those things, so you have to add your Selenium jar files into your project man. What you have to do, Praveen? You have to add jar files into your project. How to get a jar files? Very simple. Go to your seleniumhq.org site and what is that? Yeah, these jar files are Java archive files, right? It contains compiled classes. It contains what? Compiled classes actually. Yeah, if you look at now, what is the latest version of your Selenium jar file? 3.4, right? But I'm not going to use 3.4. I'm going to use a bit of old version, right? So I have 2.5.53.0 jar files. I'll be adding all those jar files into my. I'll just show you that, okay? If you look at what I have, 1, 2, and all this, I'll be adding all these jar files into my Eclipse now. See how I'm adding. Right click on the project. Right click on the where? Project. Go to build path. Click on. Exactly. Then here we have to click on this library. Then click on add XML jars. And add everything. Whatever jar files you have got, add everything. Right? These two as well. Add everything, click on OK. That's it. Now what I'll do, I will write a program to open my Firefox browser. I will write a program to open gmail.com in the Firefox browser now. Okay? Right. Now, if you want to go and open a Firefox browser, so this is the line of code we will write. Driver is equal to new. So what is this Firefox driver? As I told you few minutes back, it's a class, right? Chrome driver, Firefox driver, IE driver, Opera driver, all those things are what? Classes. So we have to add the dependencies, whatever you get in this program. So when we will get everything, definitely, without that, I will not move forward to the WebDriver. First, you understand Java for 1 week, then only I'll jump into the WebDriver. Till then, no. You will after 1 week, I'm telling you, right? You will understand what is this line is all about. Okay. So WebDriver driver is equal to new Firefox driver. And now, so this WebDriver has a method. What is it? It has driver dot get is a method. Get is a method which is used to open a Firefox instance and the URL. See which browser I want to open now. Very simple. Now let us run this program and see whether it is able to open the gmail.com application in the Firefox browser or not. Alright? Just run this program. See here, it's open Firefox. What is it open now? It's open our beautiful and very valuable gmail.com application. That's it. Now if you look at Praveen, this is occupied only part of my screen, right? But how to make this particular browser to fit into my screen? Yes, we have to write a script for that one as well. I'll tell you. Driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Got it? Let's run the program and let's see whether it is able to, maximize after opening a browser or not. Right, done? Now what is the next operation? I want to enter your email address into this email field. How to enter? So before you enter, right, so you should have some knowledge on the locators. Don't worry, we will talk about these locators later. Now what I want to do, I want to go and enter the email address, right? Yes. So if you want, this is one of the web element in my web page. This is what? This is one web element in my web page, right? Now first we have to locate this element in the web page and then start writing a program. How to locate the web element is, so we are going to install another small add-on called as Firebug later, not now. What will install? Firebug. And then go and locate this. If you locate this, right, it is giving the code that is belongs to this particular web element. What is this one? ID is equal to email, right? Yeah. Remember that what is it? What is the locator we are using? ID. So we have different locators: ID, XPath, CSS, name, tag name, and different things we have. Driver dot find element by dot. What we are using? ID, right? Exactly. What is ID name? Email dot. If you want to enter your email address, we have to use a method called as send keys method. See now what it has to do, it has to open the Firefox browser, it has to open gmail.com, it has to maximize the screen, and it has to enter the email address in your field. That's it. It's open different page now, right? Just a minute. Let's execute one more time and see. It is opening different page for us now, right? So, but we have did for a different page. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. If you look at Praveen, then it's entered. I did not enter it, entered automatically. Then I want to close the browser. How to close the browser? Driver dot close. Done? Yes. So this is what my complete, the automation uh, demo. And if you have any questions, you can just, email me or Skype me, or you can directly call me as well, not a problem. You can find all my details on my website, www.liveqatraining.com. Thank you so much for joining.